Everything seemed fine until Olivia turned 35. On the surface, her life was a meticulously crafted picture of success and stability. She held a senior position in a dynamic marketing firm, a role she'd worked tirelessly to achieve, commanding respect from her colleagues and delivering impressive results. Her apartment, nestled in a vibrant urban neighborhood, was tastefully decorated, a sanctuary of calm and aesthetic pleasure. Her social calendar, while not overflowing, was comfortably filled with a small trusted circle of friends. Individuals who understood her, shared her values, and offered genuine companionship. By all external measures, Olivia was thriving. She was, as the saying goes, doing well. Yet beneath this polished exterior, a different reality simmered. There was a quiet, persistent ache, a subtle but undeniable dissonance between her outward achievements and her inner landscape. It was a feeling of being perpetually on the periphery, an observer rather than a full participant in the vibrant tapestry of life, even when she was physically present in the most engaging of social settings. This sensation wasn't a sudden onset. It was a familiar companion, a shadow that had lengthened with each passing year. She'd learned early on, almost instinctively, to cultivate a fierce self-sufficiency, to not ask for too much, to expect little, to rely solely on her own capabilities. This self-reliance, while a strength in her professional life, had become a subtle barrier in her personal world. Her parents, in the most fundamental sense, had been present during her formative years. They provided the essentials: a roof over her head, food on the table, and ensured her attendance at a reputable school. These were the foundational elements of care, dutifully delivered. But the deeper, more intangible forms of nourishment, emotional warmth, consistent affirmation, the profound sense of being truly seen, understood, and unconditionally valued, these were conspicuously absent. Her childhood home, rather than being a haven of emotional security, was a place defined by unspoken expectations and an intricate web of unwritten rules. Emotions, particularly those deemed inconvenient or messy, were carefully guarded, much like fragile porcelain figurines displayed but never truly touched. The atmosphere was one of quiet containment, where vulnerability was perceived as a weakness, and genuine emotional expression was a rare, almost startling event. Olivia could vividly recall one particular afternoon, a memory etched with the bittersweet clarity of childhood disappointment. She must have been about 7 years old, brimming with the unbridled enthusiasm of a child's creative spirit. She had spent hours meticulously crafting a drawing, a vibrant, almost chaotic landscape bursting with color, dominated by a magnificent bright yellow sun. With a heart full of pride and anticipation, she presented her masterpiece to her mother. Her mother, a woman of precise habits and practical concerns, glanced at the drawing. There was a brief, almost imperceptible nod, followed by a perfunctory, "That's nice, dear. Now have you finished your homework?" Olivia, her small hand still clutching the drawing, felt the initial surge of joy deflate. She retreated to her room, the once brilliant yellow sun on her paper now seeming dull, its radiance diminished. It wasn't a harsh rebuke, no angry words or punishment. It was simply a quiet dismissal, a subtle yet profoundly impactful message that her inner world, her small triumphs of imagination and effort, were not quite important enough to warrant genuine engagement or celebration. It was a lesson in quiet invalidation, absorbed deeply into her young psyche. This pattern, this subtle dance of emotional withdrawal and unspoken expectation, repeated itself in countless, seemingly minor ways throughout her childhood and adolescence. She became acutely attuned to the subtle cues, the slight shift in tone, the averted gaze, the almost imperceptible sigh that signaled she was asking for too much, needing too much, or perhaps simply being too much. Over time, she learned to anticipate these signals, to preemptively retract her needs, to temper her desires. She stopped asking. She stopped needing. Or at least, she meticulously constructed a facade that suggested she had. The effort to maintain this emotional self-sufficiency was immense, a constant internal negotiation between her authentic self and the self she presented to the world. Now, at 35, that old pattern, that ingrained coping mechanism, was still a powerful, albeit invisible force in her life. It was a ghost in the room, a silent architect of her present experiences. It manifested in her romantic relationships, where she would invariably create distance, pulling back just as intimacy deepened, convinced that eventually, inevitably, she would be let down, abandoned, or found wanting. It permeated her professional life, driving her to overdeliver, to constantly seek external validation and recognition, yet never quite allowing herself to fully internalize her successes or believe that she was truly good enough. And in her quiet, solitary moments, when the demands of the day receded, a profound wave of loneliness would often wash over her. A deep primordial ache for a connection, a sense of belonging that she had never truly experienced in its purest, most unconditional form. Perhaps this isn't precisely your story. If you grew up feeling unseen, unheard, or never quite enough, this video is for you. Perhaps the specifics of your childhood were different, or the particular pain you carry bears another name. But perhaps the underlying sensation is strikingly familiar, that persistent echo of the past, casting its long shadow over the present, making it profoundly challenging to fully embrace and embody the person you are meant to be. That pervasive feeling of carrying an unhealed wound, a deep-seated longing that perpetually searches for a home it has yet to find. In this space, we are going to gently, thoughtfully, walk through some of that together. We will listen to a story, much like Olivia's, but perhaps resonating with your own. We will then turn our attention to an ancient psalm, allowing its timeless wisdom to speak into our contemporary struggles. We will reflect deeply on what these words mean for us today, in the context of our own histories and our own longings. And finally, we will offer a prayer, a collective turning towards a source of comfort and healing. As we embark on this journey, you will see this candle, a quiet, unwavering flame in the video. It is here not as a decorative element, but as a simple yet profound reminder that even when everything around us feels dark, when the past casts its longest, most daunting shadow, there is a light that arrives not just at the end of the tunnel, but right in the midst of it all. A light that promises presence, even when clarity is absent. Olivia, in the quiet solitude of her meticulously arranged apartment, would often find herself gazing out the window, her eyes unfocused, seeing nothing in particular. A forgotten cup of herbal tea would grow cold beside her, its warmth dissipating much like the fleeting moments of comfort she sometimes experienced. The path ahead, despite her professional acumen and strategic planning skills, often felt obscured, blurred by the unresolved echoes of a childhood that had, in its own subtle way, taught her to anticipate abandonment, even when it was never explicitly articulated. She knew intellectually that she was capable, intelligent, and inherently kind. Yet beneath these undeniable strengths, there resided a deep, silent uncertainty, a pervasive sense that she was fundamentally undesirable, and that eventually everyone she allowed close would inevitably perceive this perceived flaw and ultimately leave her. The comfort and unconditional acceptance she yearned for seemed perpetually out of reach, like a shimmering mirage in a vast empty desert. The quiet ache that Olivia carried, that profound sense of being fundamentally alone even when surrounded by others, is a feeling many of us know intimately. It's the insidious weight of a past that whispers insidious doubts into your present, subtly undermining your confidence, telling you in 1,000 tiny ways that you're not quite enough, that true belonging is a privilege reserved for someone else, someone more deserving. It's the way a seemingly insignificant moment from childhood, a dismissive glance, an unacknowledged effort, a fleeting sense of being overlooked, can echo through decades, shaping the very architecture of how you trust, how you love, how you even dare to conceive of a benevolent God. It's the pervasive fear that if you were to truly, authentically let someone into the deepest recesses of your being, they would eventually perceive the broken places, the unhealed wounds, and inevitably turn away, just as you felt others had done before. It's the relentless cycle of constant vigilance, the exhausting imperative of self-protection, the sheer weariness of perpetually trying to manage the unmanageable, to control the uncontrollable, to predict the unpredictable. And in those moments, when the past feels like an insurmountable burden, when its shadows lengthen and distort the present, when the future seems shrouded in an impenetrable fog of uncertainty, it can feel like you are utterly, uniquely alone in this struggle, as if no one else could possibly comprehend the specific texture of your pain, the particular nuances of your history. But the profound truth is, you are not alone. 3,000 years ago, in a world vastly different from our own, someone felt precisely this constellation of emotions. Someone wrestled with these very questions of abandonment, fear, and the desperate yearning for a secure refuge. And crucially, they articulated these feelings. They wrote them down, preserving them in words that have transcended time and culture, reaching across millennia to touch hearts just like yours. The psalmist in Psalm 27 speaks words that cut through the centuries with the precision of a surgeon's scalpel. Words that resonate with that deep primal fear of being left behind, of being unchosen, of being cast aside. Let us listen to these fragments once more, allowing their ancient wisdom to settle into the quiet spaces of our own souls. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? This psalm doesn't begin with a lament, but with a powerful declaration, a bold statement of unwavering trust. The Lord is my light and my salvation. It's a foundational assertion, a bedrock of faith. But even within the very fabric of this declaration, there's an implicit, almost haunting question, isn't there? Whom shall I fear? This is not a question posed from a place of never having known fear, but rather from the crucible of having intimately wrestled with its suffocating grip. It's a defiant cry, a reaching for something profoundly solid and immutable when the ground beneath one's feet feels perpetually unstable, prone to shifting and crumbling without warning. For someone like Olivia, who has known the profound instability of an early life devoid of consistent, emotionally safe presence, this idea of a light and salvation can feel both desperately, urgently needed, and simultaneously almost too good, too miraculous to be truly believed. It's a deep, almost visceral longing for a steady guiding hand in the bewildering, often terrifying darkness. It speaks to the soul's innate desire for a beacon, a compass point in a world that often feels disorienting and threatening. The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Here again, the persistent, echoing question of fear. But this time, it's juxtaposed with an even more potent image, a stronghold. Take a moment to truly visualize that word. A fortress, an impregnable sanctuary, a place of absolute, unassailable safety. For those whose early years were indelibly marked by emotional insecurity, by a constant, exhausting imperative to protect themselves from perceived threats, The very idea of a stronghold isn't merely a comforting thought. It's a profound, almost desperate yearning. It speaks to the deepest human desire for a place where you don't have to be perpetually on guard, where the armor can finally be shed, where your shoulders can at last drop from their habitual tension. But the question persists, of whom shall I be afraid? Because even with the intellectual understanding of a divine stronghold, the insidious tendrils of fear, those shadows from the past, can still linger, stubbornly refusing to dissipate. They cling to the edges of our consciousness, whispering old narratives of vulnerability and impending danger. And then, we arrive at the verse that speaks with such piercing directness to the very core of this particular pain. A verse that encapsulates so much of the quiet, often unacknowledged grief of an unfulfilled childhood. Though my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. Pause here. Let these words truly sink in. Though my father and my mother forsake me. For many of us, this isn't about literal physical abandonment. It's about the insidious, often more damaging emotional forsaking. It's about the quiet neglect, the subtle invalidation, the profound absence of the deep unconditional love, affirmation, and secure attachment that a child's soul not only craves but absolutely requires for healthy development. It's the searing wound of not being truly seen, truly known, truly cherished, truly prioritized by the very people who were meant to be your first, most fundamental safe harbor. It's the feeling of being left to navigate the bewildering complexities of the world alone, even when those parents were physically present, fulfilling their basic duties. It's the profound grief of realizing that the emotional wellspring that should have nourished you was, for whatever reason, dry or inaccessible. And the psalmist, in their raw, unflinching honesty, names this devastating reality. They don't shy away from it. They don't pretend it doesn't happen. They don't attempt to sugarcoat the agonizing pain. They speak the unspeakable, giving voice to a universal human experience of profound disappointment and unmet need. And then, juxtaposed against this stark reality, comes the profound, almost unbelievable promise, a declaration that defies human logic and expectation. The Lord will receive me. Not might receive me, not if I'm good enough. The Lord will receive me. Not the Lord will receive me after I've healed all my wounds, but a definitive, absolute, unwavering will receive me. It's a statement of absolute, unconditional acceptance, a divine embrace offered precisely in the very place where human love, for whatever reason, fell tragically short. For someone like Olivia, who has carried the crushing burden of feeling unchosen, unloved, or simply not enough for so long, this isn't merely a theological statement, an abstract concept. It's a lifeline, a whisper of hope in the deepest despair. It's the promise of a different kind of belonging, a different kind of home, one that is not contingent on performance or perfection, but on the sheer unmerited grace of divine love. This candle burning here is a quiet yet powerful witness to that extraordinary promise. It's a tangible reminder that even when the world feels cold, when the echoes of the past make you doubt your inherent worth, when the darkness seems overwhelming, there is a steady, moody, wavering light. A presence that receives you just as you are, in all your brokenness and all your longing, precisely in the very place where you felt most forsaken. It is a light that says, you are seen. You are known, you are loved, and you are received. We've now touched upon the raw honesty of the psalmist, the unflinching way they articulate the pain of being forsaken, even by those who should have been the closest, the most nurturing. We've allowed ourselves to sit with the weight of that truth, to acknowledge the deep, often unspoken grief it evokes. Now, let us delve even deeper into some of the powerful images this psalm offers, exploring how they speak directly to that persistent ache of a difficult childhood, that pervasive feeling of carrying the past, like an invisible but heavy burden, into the present moment. The psalm begins with that profound declaration, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" Let's linger for a moment on that image of light. For someone like Olivia, who grew up in emotional shadows, what does it truly mean to conceive of God as her light? It's less about a sudden, overwhelming spotlight and more about the slow, deliberate unfolding of a dawn. A gradual illumination that doesn't magically erase the darkness of the past, but allows her to navigate it with a newfound sense of awareness. It's the light that helps her discern the path forward, no longer stumbling blindly. It empowers her to recognize shadows for what they are, echoes of past hurts, not necessarily present dangers. For those who have lived with constant fear, this light isn't a magical solution. It's a steadfast companion. It whispers, "You do not have to walk in perpetual twilight anymore. You are not alone in this journey through the shadows." It's an invitation to slowly, cautiously begin to trust what she sees, even if what she sees is still difficult. Just like the candle here, its steady flame illuminates the immediate space, making the path visible even when the vastness beyond remains dark. Then there's the powerful evocative image of the stronghold. If Olivia's early life felt like a constant state of emotional vulnerability, what does it truly mean to imagine God as a stronghold? It's not a physical place, but a profound, internal, spiritual reality. It's the possibility of discovering a sanctuary within her own soul, a place where she doesn't have to constantly perform or earn her worth. It's the profound hope that there is an inviolable part of her that can be utterly secure, utterly protected, even when the external world feels chaotic. It's the radical realization that even if she stumbles, there is a foundational place, a divine embrace that will always hold her. It's the invitation to slowly, tentatively begin to dismantle the elaborate defenses she built, knowing there is a greater, more enduring protection available. And finally, we return to that profoundly moving line. "Though my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." The word receive here is imbued with such tenderness. For those like Olivia, who felt unreceived, unchosen, or simply not truly seen in their formative years, what does it truly mean to be received by God? It's about acknowledging the very real, very deep wound that exists when primary relationships fail to provide emotional nourishment. To be received by God is to be seen, known, and welcomed into a relationship that doesn't demand perfection. It's the radical, transformative idea that your inherent worth isn't dependent on what you received or didn't receive in the past, but on the simple fact that you exist, that you are a beloved creation. It's the profound invitation to finally, slowly, tentatively, begin to let down the elaborate defenses you've constructed, to stop the exhausting cycle of trying to earn love, and to simply allow yourself to be held, to be cherished, to be accepted. It's the beginning of understanding that the very wounds you carry can become the points of deepest connection with a God who understands suffering. This psalm, in its profound lament and its unwavering trust, gives us not only permission to feel the pain of what was missing, but also the courage to turn towards a different kind of belonging, a more enduring source of love. It doesn't magically erase the past, but it offers a transformative way to stand in the present, not as a victim of your history, but as a recipient of a different, more profound kind of hope. It's about finding a new narrative, a new foundation upon which to build your life. We've been sitting with the powerful images of light, stronghold, and the profound act of being received. we've acknowledged the raw honesty of the psalmist. Now, let us continue to unpack this psalm, exploring how these timeless words can begin to weave themselves into the fabric of our daily experience, especially when the echoes of the past feel particularly overwhelming. The psalm continues with a plea. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek Him in His temple. Let's unpack this profound desire, to dwell in the house of the Lord. For someone like Olivia, whose early home environment felt unstable or emotionally cold, what does this house of the Lord truly represent? It's less about a physical edifice and more about a profound state of being. It's the yearning for a continuous, unbroken presence, a pervasive sense of being perpetually at home with God, regardless of external circumstances. It's the desire for an unwavering sense of security, an internal sanctuary where old anxieties about abandonment can finally quiet their insistent clamor. When the past has taught you that home is not always a safe haven, the idea of dwelling in God's house becomes a radical invitation to reimagine true safety and belonging. It's the profound hope that you can cultivate and carry that sense of divine home within you, an internal compass of peace, no matter what challenging memories surface. And then, the psalmist speaks of gazing on the beauty of the Lord. This is poignant for those whose early experiences taught them to be hypervigilant, to constantly scan for danger. When your internal landscape has been shaped by a constant need for self-protection, what does it truly mean to be invited to gaze on beauty? It's about allowing yourself to consciously perceive moments of grace, fleeting glimpses of quiet wonder, instances where God's presence is felt as a source of profound, unmerited beauty. It's the slow, deliberate practice of actively seeking out these small, precious glimpses of goodness, even in the midst of lingering sorrow. And crucially, it's about letting those glimpses begin to slowly reshape your perception of reality, to soften the hardened edges of a heart that has long been in defense mode. So how can this psalm, with its raw honesty and unwavering trust, begin to enter and transform your daily life? How can these ancient words become a living, breathing part of your present experience, offering solace and strength when the echoes of the past feel particularly overwhelming? When those old familiar feelings of being unloved, unseen, or fundamentally unworthy resurface, as they inevitably will, you might find profound solace in returning to that core phrase, "Though my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." Say it out loud. Whisper it. Let it become a powerful counter-narrative, a divine truth that stands in stark contrast to the old damaging stories your mind has been telling you. It's about consciously introducing a new, more profound truth into your present reality. Or perhaps, when you feel that familiar urge to pull back from connection, to protect yourself from potential hurt, you might sit quietly with the idea of God as your stronghold. It's a gentle invitation to consider that there might be a deeper, more secure foundation available than anything you've known in human relationships. You can acknowledge the deep longing for it and consciously bring that vulnerability to God. You can also consciously use the image of the candle, here in the video, as a tangible visual anchor for your reflections. When the shadows of the past feel particularly dense, look at the flame. Observe its steady, unwavering presence. It's a small light, yes, but it is profoundly steady. It doesn't pretend to banish all the surrounding darkness, but it exists powerfully within it. It's a quiet yet potent reminder that God's presence is not contingent upon your fluctuating feelings. It simply is. It's a light that whispers, "You are not alone in this. I am here, even in the midst of your deepest struggles." It's a beacon of hope that doesn't demand you change your circumstances, but offers to change your perspective within them. Before we delve into the next layer of reflection, I want to invite you to take another breath. A slow, deep, intentional breath. Just a moment to allow these profound words, these ancient truths, to settle gently within you. Let them find their own space, their own resonance. Sometimes words need to stop, and the silence does what no sentence, however eloquent, can fully achieve. Look at the candle again. See the flame, how it dances just slightly, a living, breathing thing, yet utterly contained. Notice the light it casts, a small, intimate circle of warmth and illumination against the deeper, encompassing shadows. It's not a grand, overwhelming blaze, not a theatrical spotlight, but a quiet, persistent, unwavering presence. It doesn't demand your attention with a sudden flash, but it holds its ground with a gentle, steady glow. It simply is. It exists. It burns. Take a breath. A slow, deep breath. Let it fill your lungs, your chest, your very being, and then let it go. Slowly, completely. Don't try to figure anything out right now. Don't try to solve any of the complex equations of your past or your present. Don't try to force understanding or engineer a feeling. Just be present. Just exist in this moment, with the quiet hum of your own breath and the gentle flicker of this flame. This candle, this small, steady flame, is a gentle, tangible echo of God's quiet, persistent presence. It's not an explanation for your pain, nor is it a magical solution to your struggles. It is simply a quiet, unwavering light in the midst of whatever darkness you might be feeling, whatever confusion might be swirling within you. It's here, just as God is here, even when nothing is felt, even when everything feels uncertain, even when the silence feels deafening. It's a testament to enduring presence, even in absence of feeling. We've taken a moment to breathe, to simply be with the quiet, unassuming presence of the candle. We've allowed ourselves to rest in the stillness, to acknowledge the weight of our own stories. Now, let's return to the very heart of what we're exploring, that deep, persistent ache that can emanate from a difficult childhood, and the profound, often mysterious ways in which God meets us in that very specific, very personal valley. There's something I keep coming back to when I think about the wounds of the past, especially those inflicted during childhood. It's the raw, honest truth that for many, prayer often feels like talking to the ceiling. It's the stark reality that believing in God doesn't magically make fear go away or erase the memory of past neglect. Sometimes God can seem profoundly absent, so quiet that you wonder if He was ever truly there. And if He was, why did He allow certain things to happen? Why did He permit experiences that left such deep scars? Why did He allow you to feel so alone, so unloved when you were just a vulnerable child? These are not trivial questions. They are profound existential inquiries, often unspoken, but central to the spiritual landscape for many who carry these wounds. We don't have all the answers. We don't possess a neat explanation that can resolve the paradox of suffering and a loving God. Pain doesn't simply vanish because faith exists. Your struggle, your doubt, your anger, your exhaustion, these are not signs of weak faith. They are profound signs of being human, of having lived through experiences that left deep marks. It's okay and essential to acknowledge that healing is arduous, and sometimes the past feels like an inescapable weight. God, in His infinite capacity, is vast enough to hold all of it. All your messiness, all your questions, all your doubts. He doesn't need you to be anything other than exactly where you are. He meets you in the raw, unedited truth of your present reality. So if we can't resolve the tension between suffering and faith, what then? This is where reorientation comes into play, rather than a simplistic resolution. It's not about a quick fix, but a quiet, profound shift in perspective. It's a way of being inside the same difficult situation that doesn't demand the situation itself change first. It's the radical idea that there may be a way to remain standing, present, and connected, even within the ongoing echoes of the past. It's about finding an internal anchor when the external world feels like it's constantly shifting. Think back once more to that powerful image from Psalm 27. Though my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. It's not just a promise of future reception. It's a declaration of a present reality. It means that even in the moments when you feel most utterly forsaken, most profoundly alone, God is still receiving you. Not because you fixed anything, but simply because you are. It's an active, ongoing reception, a continuous embrace that holds you even when you can't feel it. The wound itself, the very brokenness you carry, doesn't disqualify you from being received. It's often the very place where God's reception is most profoundly felt. It's in the cracks that the light gets in. Olivia, in her quiet apartment, still felt the familiar weight of old patterns. But perhaps she was beginning to understand that being received wasn't about her parents changing or traumas disappearing. It was about something far deeper, an acceptance that was always there, waiting for her to lean into it, even with all her brokenness. It was about learning to stand with quiet dignity in the truth of being received, even when feelings of being forsaken still whispered. It was about choosing to believe a new divine story about her inherent worth. The candle burning here is not a triumphant light at the very end of a long, dark tunnel. No. It's a light inside the tunnel, a gentle, persistent illumination of the very path you're on right now. It's a quiet companion, a steady, unwavering presence that whispers, "You are not walking this alone. You are not abandoned. You are seen. You are held." It's a profound reminder that God is not just waiting for you at the other side of your pain, but is actively, intimately present with you, right here, right now, in the very heart of your valley. He is the light that walks with you through the darkness, not just the light that banishes it. This is a slow journey, this journey of healing. It's not about quick fixes or easy answers. It's about the courageous, ongoing process of learning to live with the echoes of the past, to acknowledge their presence without being defined by them. It's about opening yourself slowly and gently to a different kind of presence, a different kind of love, a different kind of belonging. It's about finding a way to remain standing, whole and hopeful, even when the ground beneath you feels uneven, even when the world feels like it's constantly shifting. It's about finding your footing in the divine embrace. We've walked through some difficult, often tender terrain together. We've acknowledged the deep, persistent pain that can emanate from a difficult childhood, the quiet wounds that shape our adult lives, and the honest, sometimes uncomfortable questions that inevitably arise in matters of faith when confronted with such suffering. We've explored how the ancient words of the Psalm speak directly to this experience, offering a profound message of being received, even in the face of feeling utterly forsaken. Now, as we prepare to transition into a moment of prayer, a sacred space of direct communication and heartfelt vulnerability, I want to invite you to participate in a way that feels genuinely right for you, in a manner that honors your own unique journey and your current emotional state. This isn't about performance. It's not about uttering the right words or adopting a specific posture that looks outwardly spiritual. It's simply about creating and opening a sacred space within yourself, a quiet sanctuary where you can bring your authentic self without pretense or expectation. If it feels comfortable, if it resonates with a need for self-compassion and grounding, you might gently place a hand over your heart. This simple gesture can be a powerful act of tenderness towards yourself, a physical acknowledgement of your own story, your own pain, your own longing. It's a way of saying, I am here with myself, in this moment. Or perhaps you might choose to gently close your eyes, allowing yourself to withdraw from external distractions and simply be present with your inner landscape, with the quiet hum of your own thoughts and feelings. You could also just rest your gaze on the candle, letting its steady, unwavering flame be a gentle anchor for your attention, a visual reminder of the persistent light we've been discussing. Or, if you prefer, simply take one slow, deep, intentional breath before we begin, allowing it to center you, to bring you into the present moment. These are just invitations, never instructions. Do what feels natural, what feels like a quiet, authentic opening for you right now. There is no right or wrong way to prepare your heart. I don't know if it's a mere coincidence that you ended up watching this video today at this precise moment in your life. Perhaps it is. The universe, after all, is full of random occurrences. But perhaps, just perhaps, there's something more at play. Perhaps there's a subtle, unseen thread that has guided you here, a gentle nudge from a source beyond your immediate comprehension. Regardless of how you arrived, God can work with exactly what you've brought to this moment. The gnawing doubt, the profound exhaustion, the fragile half-belief, the simmering anger, the quiet, almost imperceptible longing for something more, something different. You don't need to meticulously clean yourself up, or meticulously arrange your thoughts, or pretend to be stronger, more resilient, or more together than you genuinely are. You don't need to have all the answers, or feel perfectly aligned with some idealized spiritual state. Just bring your honest, unvarnished self, with all the intricate history, all the lingering hurts, all the questions, and all the fragile hope, to this sacred space. This is a place where authenticity is not just tolerated, but deeply welcomed. This is a moment to simply be held, to allow yourself to be present without the pressure of performance or the burden of expectation, to allow yourself to be seen, not by human eyes that might judge, misunderstand, or inadvertently inflict further pain, but by a divine presence that knows you completely, intimately, profoundly. Every scar, every triumph, every hidden fear, every secret longing, and still, in spite of it all, chooses to receive you, to embrace you, to love you unconditionally. It's a moment to rest in that radical acceptance. Olivia, in her quiet apartment, had often felt the weight of needing to present a perfect image, even to herself. The idea of simply being held without having to earn it, without having to explain or justify her pain, was both terrifying and deeply alluring. She had spent a lifetime building walls, and the thought of letting them down, even for a moment, felt like an immense risk. Yet the persistent ache within her whispered that the greater risk was to remain perpetually guarded, perpetually alone. This invitation to simply be was a quiet revolution for her soul. If you're ready, if your heart feels even a flicker of openness, in the next part we're going to pray together. We will speak words that are both ancient and deeply personal, words that seek to bridge the gap between our human experience and the divine. Let's pray. Lord, we come before you now, in this sacred space, carrying the profound echoes of our past. We bring with us the intricate tapestry of our lives, woven with threads of joy and sorrow, triumph and struggle. And in this moment, we specifically name the deep, persistent ache that, for many of us, emanates from a childhood marked by a quiet, insidious kind of abandonment. It wasn't always a physical leaving, but often an emotional withdrawal, a subtle but pervasive absence of the warmth, affirmation, and unconditional love our young souls so desperately craved. We name the profound feeling of not being truly seen, truly known, truly understood, or truly cherished by those who were meant to be our first, most fundamental anchors in the world. We acknowledge the searing wound of emotional neglect, the chilling presence of coldness, the disorienting chaos of dysfunction, the subtle invalidation that chipped away at our nascent sense of self-worth. We confess the insidious way those early experiences, those formative lessons in self-protection, taught us to be perpetually guarded, to anticipate disappointment around every corner, to instinctively believe deep down in the core of our being that we are fundamentally unlovable, inherently flawed, or simply not enough. We name the pervasive fear of true intimacy, the constant exhausting struggle to trust others, the relentless vigilance required to protect ourselves from potential hurt, the sheer weariness of perpetually trying to earn a love and acceptance that, in a healthy world, should have been freely given. We name the profound grief of realizing that the emotional wellspring that should have nourished us was, for whatever reason, dry or inaccessible. We name the way these old wounds, these unhealed places, still subtly but powerfully shape our adult relationships, our sense of self-worth, our capacity for joy, and even how we dare to perceive you, our Creator. It is a heavy burden, Lord, this carrying of the past into the present, this constant negotiation with our own history, and we lay it before you now in all its raw, unvarnished truth, without pretense, without apology, without attempting to minimize its impact. We bring our whole messy, beautiful, broken selves to you. And yet in the very midst of this honest naming, in the heart of our lament, we declare, with whatever fragile faith we can muster, that you are here, not as a distant, detached judge, not as a demanding, critical parent, but as a quiet, unwavering, profoundly compassionate presence. You are here in the profound silence that often accompanies our deepest pain, in the swirling vortex of our unanswered questions, in the unshed tears that may or may not fall, in the quiet tremor of our hearts. You are here, even when we feel nothing, even when our faith feels like a fragile, almost invisible thread, barely clinging to existence. This candle burning steadily before us is a simple yet potent reminder of your light. A light that is present in the darkness, not merely banishing it, but illuminating it from within, making it navigable. You are the God who receives us, not because we are perfect, not because we have somehow earned your favor, but simply because you are love, because your very nature is unconditional acceptance. So we ask, Lord, with open hearts and vulnerable spirits, for specific things that only you, in your infinite wisdom and boundless compassion, can truly give. We ask for the profound courage to face the lingering echoes of our past without being utterly consumed or defined by them. We ask for moments of unexpected stillness in the middle of the night, when the old anxieties rise like a tide, to remember, even if just for a fleeting second, that we are not alone, that we are held. We ask for the miraculous capacity to trust, even when trust feels utterly unreasonable, even when every fiber of our being, every learned defense mechanism, wants desperately to pull back and protect itself from potential hurt. We ask for the quiet strength to take just one more step forward, even when the path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty, even when we cannot see beyond the immediate moment, knowing deep down that you are walking intimately with us, guiding our feet. We ask for the transformative grace to begin to see ourselves through your eyes, as beloved, as chosen, as inherently worthy, even when the world and our own relentless inner voice tells us a different, more critical story. We ask for profound healing for the deep hidden places within us that still ache with the unfulfilled longing for the love, affirmation, and secure attachment that were tragically missing in our formative years. And in a profound act of grace, we ask for the ability to extend to others the very love, the very presence, the very acceptance that we ourselves so desperately long for, breaking the cycle of hurt and isolation. And now, Lord, in this sacred moment, we simply surrender. We lay down the exhausting burden of trying to fix ourselves, of trying to earn your love through endless striving, of trying to outrun or outsmart our past. We surrender the insatiable need to understand everything, to control every outcome, to meticulously plan every step. We surrender our wounds, our brokenness, our fears and our fragile hopes into your capable, loving hands, trusting that you are the God who truly receives us, who holds us with unwavering tenderness, and who, unlike any human love, will never ever forsake us. Though our father and our mother may have, for whatever reason, forsaken us, you, Lord, will receive us. And in that profound, liberating truth, we choose to rest. We choose to breathe. We choose to hope. Amen. Thank you for joining me in this sacred, vulnerable space today. Thank you for bringing your authentic self, your story, your questions, and your longings. God heard your prayer, every unspoken word, every quiet sigh, every flicker of hope, and every shadow of doubt. And He is with you, intimately, profoundly, in this very moment and in every moment to come. This journey of healing, of reorienting our hearts and minds away from the wounds of the past and towards the unwavering presence of divine love, is not a linear path. It is often winding, sometimes arduous, and frequently marked by moments of regression, doubt, and renewed pain. If the weight of those old echoes returns, as it often does with persistent insistence, please, I urge you, come back to this video. Come back to these words, to the ancient wisdom of the psalm, to the quiet, steadfast presence of this flame. Let it be a gentle yet powerful reminder that you are not alone in this struggle, and that you are always, always received. You are not defined by what was lacking in your past, but by the boundless love that receives you in your present. And perhaps when you feel a flicker of readiness, when your heart feels a little lighter, a little more open, you might consider a small act of connection. You might share this video with one specific person whose name you already know, someone who is walking through their own valley right now, someone who might desperately need to hear these words of comfort, of affirmation, of hope. In sharing, we not only extend compassion to others, but we also reinforce the truth within ourselves. If you'd like to stay connected to this kind of content, to continue exploring these themes of healing, faith, and finding solace in the divine, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your engagement helps to build a community of shared understanding and support. And if you feel moved to, if it feels safe and authentic for you, share in the comments below what valley you're walking through, what resonated most deeply with you today, or which psalm or spiritual theme you might want to explore next. If you grew up with emotionally distant parents and it feels safe, you can simply write, "That's me," or just the word "seen" in the comments. Your voice matters, and your experience is valuable. May you find profound peace and enduring comfort in the quiet, unwavering presence of God, who is always, always with you in every step of your journey. Remember Olivia's journey, and know that even when the comfort she sought felt perpetually out of reach, the truth of being received was always there, waiting for her to lean into it. And it is there for you too.